Hello, my name is Tara Lessick, and I will be talking about my thesis. Previous research on the big fish little pond effect indicates that students with high rank in a low rank school have higher self evaluations than students with low rank in a high rank school. Most of the studies that focus on this effect have been within an academic context. The present research questioned whether the big fish little pond effect extends to a racial ethnic context. Previous research has found that identifying highly with one's group results in a non-significant big fish little pond effect. Because African Americans tend to identify more highly with their racial group relative to European Americans, we hypothesized that Black participants would illustrate a non-significant big fish little pond effect, and white participants would illustrate a strong big fish little pond effect. To test our hypotheses, we collected data from 106 Black and 107 white participants via Prolific. Participants first completed a social perception test, where they judged a set of white, Black, Hispanic, and Asian neutral faces. Participants judged each face based on extroversion, religiosity, and sexual orientation. After, participants received feedback. Participants in the big fish, little pond condition were told that they did much better relative to over 200 members of their racial group, and their group did much worse relative to the other racial group. For example, a Black participant would be told that he or she did much better than other African Americans, and African Americans performed much worse than European Americans. Participants in the Little Fish Big Pond condition were told that they did much worse relative to over 200 members of their racial group, and their group did much better relative to the other racial group. For example, a white participant would be told that he or she did much worse than other European Americans, and European Americans performed much better than African Americans. Then participants completed several dependent measures. Our two main measures were self-evaluations and performance-related affect. But for exploratory analyses, participants also completed a group evaluation measure, a racial identity relevance measure, and a group SES measure. As in previous research, our results indicated that Black participants identified more highly with their racial group than white participants. However, for self-evaluations, the results indicated that there was a main effect of feedback type, meaning self-evaluations were significantly different across conditions. There was no significant main effect of race or significant interaction of race and condition found. Plain comparisons indicated that both white and Black participants' self-evaluations were more positive when in the big fish little pond condition in comparison to the little fish big pond condition. This illustrates a big fish little pond effect for both white and Black participants. The same held true for performance-related affect. Specifically, there was a main effect of feedback type, meaning performance-related affect was significantly different across conditions. There was no significant main effect of race or significant interaction of race and condition found. Plain comparisons indicated that both white and Black participants' performance-related affect was more positive when in the big fish little pond condition in comparison to the little fish big pond condition. This also illustrates a big fish little pond effect for both white and Black participants. For group evaluation, there was a significant main effect of condition. Plain comparisons indicated that across racial groups, participants evaluated their group more highly in the little fish big pond condition than the big fish little pond condition. These results illustrate that participants understood and retained group rank information, ruling out the possibility that participants ignored or did not understand the intergroup feedback during self-evaluations. Based on these results, our first hypothesis, which was that European Americans will illustrate a strong big fish little pond effect, was supported. Additionally, previous research, along with exploratory analyses that we conducted, illustrates that Black participants identify more with their race relative to white participants. Even so, our second hypothesis, which was that African Americans will illustrate a non-significant big fish little pond effect, was not supported. Therefore, even when one identifies highly with their group, their individual performance drives their self-evaluations and performance-related affect more so than their group's performance. Future research is needed to understand other contexts that the big fish little pond effect extend to and conditions under which this effect is moderated by group identification.